On Wednesday, March 13th, anti-gun advocates turned up at the State House in hopes of resuscitating a handful of gun control bills that, at least so far, appear to be dead in the Vermont legislature. Although the speakers at the press conference said they were really only interested in safety, the signs held by supporters in the room shouted a different agenda, an agenda hinted at by keynote speaker, former Governor Madeline Kunin.
This particular bill that would encourage the use of safety locks is really a baby step, but it is an important step. And
Kunin went on to justify the proposed gun control legislation by citing teen and veteran suicide statistics, saying that if forced to try to kill themselves by means other than firearms, pills are less effective, only working 2 to 17% of the time. This is ironic in that Kunin has been advocating for physician-prescribed suicide, which calls for an overdose of self-administered pills. But there was another emotional appeal made, one that we hear often, about Vermont being a leader on the national stage.
We are incredibly fortunate to not have had some of the horrific incidents that have occurred in the rest of the country. But I would argue that as citizens of the nation, Vermont has always taken the lead. It's taking the lead now in our legislators in Washington.
This is, again, ironic. It would seem that Vermont, with one of the best gun safety records of any state in the Union, is already a national leader on the issue of gun safety. And it is our current gun laws and cultural respect for the Second Amendment that has earned us that leadership position. But then again, gun safety really isn't the agenda here.
While each of us has the right to keep and bear arms, it's not an absolute right, and is subject to reasonable restrictions like any other right guaranteed by the Constitution.
I just want to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the Second Amendment. I'm not here to deny the fact that the Second Amendment guarantees an individual the right to possess guns in the home for self-defense and for legitimate reasons such as hunting. But to say that weapons of mass destruction are necessary to protect an individual against tyranny should not be considered in our legislators' deliberations. Today, such an argument borders on being seditious and ignores the fact that the Constitution is a living document which allows our country to adapt to changing times. The Civil War was fought because the South felt that their freedom to own slaves was being unjustly taken away from them by the federal government.
So there you have it in their own words. Second Amendment rights need to be restricted. The Constitution is a living document. And those gun owners who wish to continue exercising their rights to keep and bear arms are equivalent to antebellum slave owners who didn't want to give up their ownership of fellow human beings.
And so for those legislators who are afraid to join this conversation or think this conversation is going to go away, I would simply say that at the beginning of this year, the legislator Baruth tried legislation, pulled legislation. Now we have more bills that have been proposed, and all of us are here today. So it's moving forward, and we have to keep in the fight.
No, the fight to maintain Second Amendment rights in Vermont is not over, which is why it was encouraging to see on Thursday, March 14th, Second Amendment advocates, including the Ethan Allen Institute, on hand to deliver petition signatures and letters representing 4,995 Vermonters to Governor Peter Shumlin. A lot of people recognize that Vermont's record on gun safety and current gun laws are the solution, not the problem.